Now, in my early days in kitchens, when I started off, and fillet steak was affordable, but I don't know if you've ever bought a whole fillet, and I actually asked the butcher for this and they didn't have any, but the whole fillet, it's got this skinny bit at the end, you know, that sort of tapers off. And we used to use that for two things. First of all, we used to make the worst bloody carpet bag steak you've ever seen in your life. We used to poke a hole in it and put oysters in it and cook the shit out of it. Did I say shit? Am I allowed to say shit? I suppose I did. Anyway, too late, I've already said it. Anyway, that was our carpet bag steak. But what we did used to make with it, which wasn't too bad, was beef stroganoff. And, you know, you'd slice it reasonably finely, not too fine, and just in pieces. So that's what happened to that. Now, of course, fillet steak is so expensive that you need to sell your house or win tats to buy it. But I have got a piece here because I really do like this dish. And I'm sort of revisiting. I haven't had stroganoff for years. And you don't see it in restaurants anymore, which is a shame because it's actually a rather nice dish. So let's just slice this up into pieces. This is about a 200 gram piece of steak. So some olive oil, and I always like a bit of butter to give some extra flavour. See, what I'm going to do now is cut it across like that into strips, but nice and even, because obviously you want to cook evenly. So you can see what I mean about that end piece, how that would have really worked well. But we don't have that, so we've got no choice. So let's just throw this, and don't just turf it all in at once, because I just want to seal it this time, and then we'll pull it out and do some other bits and pieces with it. So this is just getting sealed. You can season it at this stage if you like, but I don't think you need to. I really don't, because the sauce is going to have plenty of seasoning in it, so why bother? All right, once it's sealed, just whip it out. Don't overcook it. I mean, you're not looking for medium rare beef here. You really are not. You do want it to have a little bit more. Now, what I've got here to go with that, I've got some porcini, which is a beautiful dried mushroom, which I soaked for 30 minutes in warm water, and then I cut it up fairly fine. And I've also got some mushrooms, just some button mushrooms. The porcini just adds a little bit of extra flavour. Bloody wonderful stuff. So let's just saute this, get it started. There's nothing worse than a raw mushroom, so you do want to start that. But I will add a little bit more oil there. I think I'm a bit under. It was a very popular dish, stroganoff, in the day. It really was. People used to love it. I suppose people tended not to eat rare steaks as much in those days, so if they wanted something that was a bit more cooked, this was the way to have it. Now, some smoked paprika. I get a bit excited because I love smoked paprika, and I put 3 tons into everything. So careful. So you just toast that to release the aromas. About half a cup of beef stock, just packets fine. Oh, maybe a third of a cup. Maybe I'm getting a bit excited there. Some Dijon mustard, good dollop of that. And also some salt. I won't put any pepper in at this stage because I've got the paprika, but I will add some chopped parsley, and we're going to reduce this, and at the same time I'm just going to put some water on to boil, because I've served this, as is traditional, on some fettuccine. So let's reduce that, and we can add a bit more stock if need be. Alright, we'll see how we go. Alright guys, this is looking damn good. It really is. Let's just return the beef there. Now, as soon as I've tossed that around, I'll remove it. There is method of madness, because it's very thin and I don't want it to overcook. I just want it to be reheated. So it's not going to take much. So just like that. That'll do us. And then we'll just take that off. Stroganoff always has sour cream in it, but I'm just going to show you the trick for sour cream is you put the sour cream in a bowl and you add about a teaspoon of flour and you mix that together, and I can guarantee it will then not split. And you don't put it in when your pan's on the heat. So let's just put that in and mix it in fairly gently. Because the biggest problem with just putting sour cream in straight by itself is it will split. I wish you were here. This smells it really smells good. And I'll just have a little taste. Make sure it doesn't need any more seasoning. Oh, gee, that sauce is good. Huey, you've done well. Now I'm just going to serve that actually on some fettuccine, which is bubbling away out the back. A Barossa Shiraz Cabernet, which goes beautifully with a dish like this. All right, so I've got some good fettuccine there, which we'll just throw some parsley in, and we'll put some butter in that as well. Just toss that. Now make sure when you cook the pasta that you've got plenty of salt in the water. Fettuccine with butter and parsley. Then, my friends, some of this beautiful tender. I can promise you that beef will be so tender. Yes, of course, you could use porterhouse or something like that. Not skirt steak, you know, something half decent, but it's worth that little bit of extra for the fillet steak. It really is. It's so tender. And the porcini, they're not cheap either. So this is a bit of a special occasion dish, my friends. That is something rather special.
Guys, to show your support for my channel and to keep in the loop, subscribe. It's easy to do, and don't forget, it's free. Okay, cheers.